Greetings, beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I am super grateful to have you. And if you are returning, y'all the real MVP, you already know. So today, my friends, I do want to give the disclaimer that the deck we are going to be talking about is not one for beginners. It is not one for young children. So if you are a young child who has found your way to my mystical, wonderful world of tarot here, please see your way out. I'm going to give that disclaimer because this imagery can be disturbing to some viewers. This imagery may be inappropriate for some ages, and I don't want to scare anybody on my channel ever, so I will give you a quick minute to go ahead and get your little booties out of here if you are not supposed to be here. So for those of us grown-ups who are going to be watching this video today, let's get a drink, shall we? We haven't done that in a while. Figured I'd finish my coffee on screen with you guys, since I do really miss just being able to talk about whatever the heck I want to talk about on my channel. I am kind of taking back the reins today. So for those of you guys who are going to be joining me and actually hanging out here for a good minute, thank you so much for being here. For those of you guys who are brand new to my channel, I cannot thank you enough for being here. Thank you so much. If you guys ever want to see my link tree, you already know that's in the description box. But let's get into why we're really here. This is a deck that I have been keeping secret from my viewer base for a while, unless you're following me on TikTok. Like I've said a trillion times before, TikTok knows everything about me. So if you guys ever want to follow me, see who I really am, behind the scenes, and just kind of unfiltered, that's where to do it. TikTok's always the best place to do that. So yes, TikTok knows I have this deck, and I've been very nervous to bring it to YouTube because I kind of built my fan base on being an angel medium at the start of my spiritual journey, and I didn't want to hear it. To be quite frank, I didn't want to hear it. I don't. Your fear-mongering Catholic Christian shit comments are not welcome here. I'm sorry, they're not. I'm entirely so nervous to open up my channel to this conversation, but this is a deck which found me somehow. I can't remember. I think I saw it on Amazon, put it on my list, never looked at it again, and somehow one day it came back and I decided to look through it, and I was so blown away by the imagery that I could not stop thinking about it. And I went and I watched reviews on it, and I had such a magnetic pull toward this deck that I went and did so much research to find the authentic one, because there are actual smaller versions being sold by Llewellyn's Publications now. This was originally a Lo Scarabeo deck, and it started as a Kickstarter deck. So I had to do a lot of digging to find the real one, and it kept going out of stock, and I had to keep waiting until it finally popped up. So the day came that I shelled out a hefty penny for this deck, and then as I was waiting for it, I was extremely nervous because I was like, I don't know what I am bringing into, my life, essentially, with this deck. So for those of you guys who don't know, this is the Goetia deck, and this deck is based on the demons of the lower Goetia. I'll put, book references and all that stuff down there. And essentially, I did not touch this deck for weeks when I got it. I did not, because I was very nervous. I was very nervous to open it. And finally, I was like, I have it. I bought it. I looked at it. I know what's in there. It's not going to bite. It's just a deck of cards. I had to keep telling myself it's just a deck of cards. So I finally got into it, and I decided to look at it from a reviewer standpoint. What does the box look like? What does the book look like? Do I like the cardstock? Do I like, stuff like that? Because it is a Lo Scarabeo deck. So, we all know how touchy Lo Scarabeo can be with their cardstock and their finishes and stuff like that in the book. So I decided to look at it, and the more I looked at it, the more I was drawn to it, the more I wanted to play with it, the more I wanted to read with it. And I could not keep it quiet anymore that I had this deck. So, I started kind of showing it on TikTok and doing little readings with it on TikTok and not talking about it, right? I still haven't quite announced it. I haven't done my walkthrough with it. I haven't done anything with it, but I have found now that when I'm reaching for a deck, I do reach for this deck. Like for my personal readings, I do find that I reach for this deck over my Centennial. Not because of like how intuitive this deck is, right? But because of how breathtaking the imagery is, but also because of how honest the energy is. This is such an amazing deck. So I know some of you guys are already like, can you shut up, just get into the deck. So yes, we will look at the box and the book, and I'll show you a quick brief image of a brief picture of the cards, right? A brief flash of the cards, and then of course I will do a walkthrough for those of you who are interested in looking at the full imagery of the cards. But I did just kind of want to give a little disclaimer and a little bit of a backstory, because those of you guys who have been with me for a long time, you're gonna be like, Star, you've never done something like this on your channel. What's going on here? So I do want to say, if I lose some viewers, it is what it is. If I gain some viewers, it is what it is. I was very nervous to talk about this deck because I was afraid I was going to lose any type of future sponsorships, monetization, things like that. I was very scared of this deck. And then I realized that is my old Christian programming, my fear-mongering Catholic Christian programming, which had me completely afraid of this deck. I was so scared of this deck, and it's a deck. It's a deck of cards, just like any other deck of cards. And I just wanted to bring this to my channel to show you guys, those of you who, are looking for representation, I'm here, okay? I want to make that very clear. Sometimes you don't see yourself in the people that you idolize, and I want to say it's okay to explore things within your craft that you are curious about, because I realized after having got this deck that this deck came to me so that I could learn to understand that I can't fully embrace the light parts of myself without fully embracing the dark parts of myself. And I thought that I was somebody who was very comfortable with the dark parts of myself and my past and my history and all the things like that. But I did not realize that I was completely shutting that out and slapping a big old light and love band-aid on it. So I feel like I have such a beautiful relationship with the angels and my guides that I am extremely protected, and I am extremely ready to learn. Fully learn, because I feel like you can't learn about one aspect of the craft without having to delve into other aspects of the craft that you may not be so comfortable with. So that's what we're doing here today. If those of you guys who are not comfortable looking at demon imagery, not the video for you. Sorry, boo-boo. There will be other ones, I promise. There will be better ones. But this is something that I wanted to share with you guys, that I am very, very excited about this deck, to be quite honest. It's beautiful. It's so stunning. And it deserves a look. If this video only gets 5 looks, that's fine. It's completely fine with me, because I feel like I'm not being my authentic self, hiding this from you guys. And I really felt that's why I'm not doing YouTube videos at the moment, because this is something I have that I want to talk about, that I want to share, that I want to show you guys, because that's what I do here. And to hide that feels like I'm hiding a big part of myself. So yes, I am still just being a student right now. I'm still just, kind of tiptoeing into learning about the Goetia and learning about the lore and the mythology and the history and all of that stuff. That's all I'm doing at the moment, because I feel like it is important. I feel like I cannot just sweep it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist and that I'm gonna be a light and love angel medium forever, because that's not entirely true. Not everyone's guides are all of light, love, truth, and there have been a lot of things that I've learned on TikTok that have helped me fully be okay with that. And the more friends that I make in the community, the more people that I talk to about, how they've come to accept themselves in their craft, really just made me realize people are gonna have something to say regardless of where you stand on the subject, right? I even had people who were offended with me that I gave them angel readings. So all of that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So I did show you guys the box really fast because, you know, this is a smaller version, and like I said, there is another even smaller version being sold by Llewellyn's Publications right now. So this one was really hard for me to dig up. I did get the Lo Scarabeo version. And for those of you guys who were lucky enough to get your hands on the holographic Kickstarter version, I'm extremely jealous. That was a beautiful copy. Much bigger cards also. But just so you guys know, if you guys are ever looking for this and you do see that the next one, the one that you find is smaller, I wouldn't particularly say that it's a knockoff if it's sold by Llewellyn's, because Llewellyn's has taken over the project. They did scale the cards down quite a bit. So I was very happy to get my hands on the Lo Scarabeo version. But what I am a little upset about with Lo Scarabeo, time and time again dropping the ball, is on their books, because this could have been an amazing opportunity of learning for some people who like picked up this deck, right? And of course, because Lo Scarabeo does everything in 4 different languages, you get the absolute bare minimum of an introduction in this book, and that's it. And then they translate that into 4 different languages. So this book is entirely useless. It just tells you what the Goetia is, and that's pretty much it. And then it translates that. So I was really upset because I was really excited, looking forward to this book, thinking that it was going to kind of explain who is on the imagery and how they classified it and things like that. No, if you're looking for some kind of fantastic book, like I said, I will reference the down below if I can find it. I know there's quite a few of them, but there was one that I found that I think is the actual one that I will link to help out if anybody's like looking for a book, because trust me, that ain't it, fam. That ain't it. But here is the back of the cards, and I do suggest, if you guys are interested in this deck, please watch the walkthrough, because my front camera is not ever nearly as clear as the back camera is that I use on the walkthroughs. And yeah, this is just, these are like computer graphic images, so they're very detailed, very stunning, very, very dark, okay? And a lot of people complained about that. I noticed in the reviews, like, it's too dark, I can't see anything. And that's also kind of the allure of this deck, right? They do talk about how this deck is meant to help you look into the shadows to see the light. And the funny thing is, I've found a lot of reviews of people saying that the more they work with this deck, the brighter it becomes for them. And that's really what drew me to it, because I was like, that's interesting, because I know of decks like that, right? Where they just kind of have their own personality. So this is kind of what they look like. And you can see here there is a number, and then there is the name of the demon there. There is the it's like the, I can't remember what that number is, because that 14 and 11 there's confusing me, but you'll see. So there's the sigil, and then they have, you know, elemental, zodiac, stuff like that on there. And as you can see, even with the ring light, you can tell these are pretty dark cards, and they are just illuminated. And I cannot stop looking at them, because there's always so much imagery that starts to unfold the more you look at them, because there are very small points of each card that are actually illuminated, and they're just stunning. So what I would say is, if you're not a big fan of Lo Scarabeo and their cardstock, you know, just, if this is a deck that you want, I'd say bite the bullet on that one, because I have had issues with Lo Scarabeo and their weird cardstock, right? They just never know what to do with their cardstock, and it is frustrating, but something like this is just so worth it. It is glossed, as you guys can tell. It is a soft gloss. It's not a hard gloss, so it's not like your Modern Witch, right? This is a very soft gloss, and it is very pleasant to hold, very pleasant to shuffle. I don't even have to give effort into throwing the cards. I can literally just let up the tension on my hand and the cards fall. It's amazing. I love shuffling this deck. It's so pleasant, and I do really feel like this is one of those decks where it's actually the characters on the cards that are speaking to you more of the card, the lesson in the card, the situation, as opposed to your Rider-Waite imagery, which is speaking of the story on the card, if that makes sense. So I mean, I will link below where I got this deck from, as I always do. I always give you guys my link, the link that I purchased the deck from personally, but I mean, no promises, okay? This is one I do want you guys to understand. This is a hard deck to find. It's a very hard deck to find. So I did go to Los Scarabaeo's actual website. I did go to Barnes & Noble's website. I went to Amazon. I went to so many different places looking for this Los Scarabaeo copy, not the Llewellyn's copy, because the Llewellyn's deck is even smaller. They did make it the size of a knockoff. It's very tiny. So that is the one that you will see on the Barnes & Noble website, is the Llewellyn's deck. I don't know which one's on the Los Scarabaeo deck, to be honest, because it does say Llewellyn's and Los Scarabaeo on that website. So, like I said, I will give you guys the link that I purchased this from, okay? If you can't find it, if it's not there, if it never comes back in stock, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be the one to do the research for you to find the deck when you want it. I've had so many people commenting that on my Llewellyn's, that Llewellyn's tarot deck that I got, and so many people are like, this isn't the right link, this isn't the right deck, this isn't the right box, can you give me an authentic link? And I'm like, I gave you guys the link that I purchased it from. I am not your mother. I'm not gonna do the homework for you and hand you the deck. If you really want it, you'll put in the same time and effort that I did to go find it, okay? That's all I can say for you guys. I'll give you the link that I got it from, and that's it. It's out of my hands. So I really hope that those of you who are interested in the imagery of this deck, because it is stunning imagery, so stunning, and this stupid front camera ring light business does not do it justice, so that's why I didn't even bother showing too many of them. But like, I know we're at least past the threshold of daddy YouTube time that I can show this to you guys. Look at this. You know, just so stunning. So if you guys are grown adults looking for this deck, go find it, please. You won't be sorry. You will not be sorry. It's not a bad size. It's not as big as the Kickstarter version, so you can hold it. I can hold it in my teeny tiny little hands, and I can shuffle it just fine. So, you know, if you're interested, go find it. Go watch the walkthrough. Go do all the things. I really hope you do. And I really hope that wherever you guys are, when this video reaches you, my friends, you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Don't forget to go check out my link tree in the description. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop. Don't forget, all of my Amazon wish lists are still there. If you guys ever want to send me a deck or a book to review for you, I will always do that. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one, friends. Blessed be.